Hello everybody and welcome to the world of Kenshi. Alrighty, so I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that it's time for the Waifu Hive to rise. I know what else you're thinking. You're thinking, Shadow, why are you showing a bunch of Fogmen? Easy, because we haven't picked a hive yet, so technically we don't have a queen, so they're all just wandering around as Fogmen. Get it? Okay, so I have a couple rules and plans that I intend to do for the series. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I intend to basically make this like the introduction episode where everything gets ready to go, and, of course, we prepare for the Waifu Hive. So, first thing is first. I want to have our goals to be, we are eventually going to imprison the Western and Southern Queens. I don't think that we can actually make them join us. I mean, if we can, I would love to do that, but, I mean, chances are we can't. We'll still try. We do have recruitable prisoners, so we'll see what happens. But I want to kidnap them, somehow recruit the Mist Queen. That is definitely going to be the single most dangerous thing we do as far as the Hivers side of things goes. Once we have collected every single queen, as in those three, maybe if we can encounter some more, since I know there is a primordial one that we can capture, as well as a couple others that we could get. But once we deal with all of that, we are going to attack the city that Holy Lord Phoenix resides in, and we are going to kill him as our big finisher. That's basically the plan. So this series could either be really short or really long. Honestly, I don't know how it's gonna go just yet. Kenshi is one of those games where who can really say? But something else I wanted to bring up is I intended on starting as the Primordial Hive. My reason for it is relatively simple. The Primordial Hive is basically like these ancient Hivers who got bullied by every other type of Hiver and then hunted to extinction. So, you know, it makes sense that they would be the one to recreate a true massive hive of all the different type of Hivers. And then, of course, we are only going to be using Hivers in this playthrough. Give or take a couple characters who are just Hiver themed, because I would love to recruit a couple Mist Ghouls. But we'll see how that goes, considering how strong they are. But that's basically the rules. We're going to try and get as many queens as we can. And once we have the three big ones, being the Western, the Southern, and the Mist Queen, then we are going to start gearing up to go take on Holy Lord Phoenix, and once Holy Lord Phoenix is dead, that will mark the end of the series. So, all in all, should be relatively simple, but saying that, even though it's only like, oh, it's only 3 things we have to do, it's not gonna be the easiest thing in the world. But another thing I did want to bring up is if you guys want to have any sort of custom character, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. Whether, say, you want a Hiver worker and you want it to have the name Jimbo, then whenever we get a Hiver worker, I will name it Jimbo. And if you want Jimbo to use a unique weapon, go ahead and let me know, and I will try and hook him up with that. So, yeah, basically, we're just doing characters. If you guys have any sort of specific character that you want to set up, go ahead and let me know. I will do my absolute best. And one thing I also want to do, kind of like a side mission, I would eventually like to have one of each type of Hiver. So, Southern, Western, Mist, Dead Hive, you know, stuff like that. But we'll see how that goes. But all in all, I do also have a 255 character limit mod installed, because we are going to have a full-on army, because we're going to need it for some of the fights that we're going to be taking. But enough of that. So, I went ahead and I picked up the Nobody's starting class because well, honestly, it was just going to be the easiest thing that we could do. So, here is who we're starting with. We're going to be starting with one of the members of the Primordial Hive, Princess the Princess. Then we're going to have a Southern Hive princess named Lily. Then the Princess of the Dark Hive, Ava. The Princess of the Western Hive, Amber. And the Princess of the Mechanical Hive, Queen. So, I was gonna start us with a Fog Princess. However, on my test run, that didn't go so well. So, we'll recruit a Fog Princess later, when we have the opportunity. Because starting with one, not a good idea. Finding one later, fairly good idea. So, like I said, this is supposed to be the introduction episode. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run you through our starting plans. Because the start to Kenshi is always the hardest part, as I'm sure many of you know. So, technically, there's a few ways that we can go about getting some money. Either we can luck out, loot some people, potentially sell some bounties, and it'll be nice. Or, we could go just outside of town, get a little bit of copper, run it on over to the Hivers, and sell it there, provided that we are using Princess. I don't believe the other ones can really go sell to Hivers. The Hivers are weirdly racist at times, to themselves. Or, if we're if we're willing to make the run, we could come all the way over here, just northwest of the Sten Desert, pick up a couple ancient blueprints, and sell those for some early game money. Will we regret it later? Possibly. But it'll be worth it for the here and now, since this is going to be the hardest part. So, like I mentioned, if you guys would like any unique characters, be sure and let me know. We are going to have kind of a mixture between male Hivers, female Hivers, robotic Hivers, and then we're just going to have a little bit of a mix match of all types of Hivers. And we have 256 character slots, 5 of which are already taken, which only leaves us with 251 more. So, you know, we're almost out of slots. But, all in all, the introduction bits are not going to be very interesting. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of restarting, since this is one of the quote-quote harder starts, despite starting with 5 characters. So, I'm probably going to make use of the ancient plans, and I'm probably just going to sell those right away. There's a bunch of spiders and crabs and stuff that are defending it, but it should be worth it. Now, another thing I want to do, I'm only going to make use of some of our modded Hive villages and buildings and walls and stuff as much as I can. Although I know there is going to be a couple issues with those, so we'll use some regular buildings here and there. After all, we do have a mechanical Hiver with us who would no doubt know how to make a regular building. I also think starting with 5 princesses made the most sense aesthetically, since we are trying to recreate a mass Hive fusion. So having 5 different queens really just made the most sense. But with that being said, I believe that is going to do it for this introduction episode. If you guys would like any unique characters, be sure and let me know, as I've now said 3 times. But I don't know how long this series is going to be. Technically, I can see it being like 3 or 4 episodes, or it could be like 20. So we're just gonna see. Like, we have 4 really simple goals, but it's gonna take us a hot minute to get there. So in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this introduction to the Waifu Hive. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.